Hong Kong, meaning fragrant port, lies on the southeast coast of China and is one of the busiest cities in the world. In this pulsating melting pot, Chinese culture mixes with British influences. As a result of the Opium Wars, Hong Kong was proclaimed a colony of the British Crown. At that time, it consisted of only several small fishing villages. After World War II, Hong Kong experienced an enormous economic boom. Before it was returned to China on the 1st of July 1997, it had developed into a thriving metropolis. After the British withdrew, Hong Kong changed only a little. Now it is a special administrative unit. The borders with China are still closed, and apart from Cantonese, English is also the official language. Due to the density of population of about 5,300 people per square kilometre, the city is one of the most densely populated areas of the planet. 7 million people live here. Many contrasts are witnessed to the history of the city. Next to skyscrapers, there are old temples and villages pointing to the long Chinese history. An example of the historical heritage of Hong Kong is Sam Tung Uk Museum in the north of the Kowloon Peninsula. Inside, you can have a look at a 200-year-old Hakka village. The colourful hall, decorated with a beautiful wooden coating, used to serve as a place for ancestor worship. The old room shows the simple life of the original Hong Kong. Hakka houses used to be enclosed by 5-metre-high walls so that they were protected from pirates. The Hall of Ancestors, Liu Man Shek Tong, built in 1751 by the Liu clan, is one of 600 temples in Hong Kong. Apart from Taoism and Buddhism, it's ancestor cult which plays an important role in Chinese tradition. People believe that souls of the dead can influence the fate of those living through offerings and prayers. Tai Fu Tai Mansion was built in 1865 as the seat of a successful merchant. The splendid interior of the building is among others decorated with beautiful wood carvings. Chinese and Western motifs are elegantly mixed here. The visitor to Hong Kong can experience a real mystery of Chinese tradition in the Western District. You don't have to be ill to drop in for a while into a Chinese pharmacy. In Hong Kong, you don't get any pills, but individually mixed herbal mixtures. Apart from the pharmacist, it's also a doctor who understands all risks and side effects of the drugs. He sees his patients directly next to the pharmacy and is great in understanding Chinese medicine. In general, Chinese medicine is based on establishing balance between yin and yang. If these life forces are imbalanced in a body, then an inner universe is disturbed and a person falls ill. Specific symptoms like a too high or too low temperature are plain signs of this imbalance between yin and yang. To renew the balance, the pharmacist makes a medicine for healing tea according to the doctor's prescription. Such a prescription usually consists of up to 20 herbs, but also of exotic ingredients like deer antlers, snake gall, dried fish, or even seahorses. If you are in a hurry and you only want to prevent illnesses, you can take some tea along with you. No Western lemonade can match this refreshing Chinese drink. Hong Kong is a paradise for tea lovers. If you are interested in tea plants, harvesting and drinking, you should go and visit a tea plantation. In Yabok Tea Garden in Fanling, you can take part in a tea ceremony and thus learn how to make Chinese tea properly. First, vessels are cleaned by hot water of a temperature of exactly 98 degrees C. The first tea serves only to clean the tea leaves. Its flavour is too strong and it is poured out. The second time the tea is made, it is allowed to soak for a minute only, so that the tea can develop its characteristic aroma. Another tradition that gains more and more supporters in the West is the art of Feng Shui. Literally, it means wind and water, and it is based on Taoistic natural philosophy. The original aim of Feng Shui was to place buildings into the country as harmoniously as possible. The best thing is, if there is a mountain behind protecting the house and the front faces towards south and water. It's hard for an inexperienced person to see any system in the chaos of Hong Kong streets. However, tight in the centre of this seeming chaos, there is a lot from the art of Feng Shui, which is supposed to bring luck and wealth, and which is used by some companies in the red to prosper. Master Kun Lung is an expert on Feng Shui, who also knows all the intricacies of negative Feng Shui effects.
This is the China building, the Li Ka-shing's Changgong head office. This one is the very square. We call the earth element. The earth is meaning the money. In these 20 years, Li Ka-shing Changgong Holding is very rich in Hong Kong. 20 years ago, a small company. After 20 years ago, his office is very bigger in Hong Kong. But in 1993, this entertainment building is the angle point, pointing from his head office. At that time, the Changgong business is not very good because that building is similar like the enemy take the knife to pointing from his heart.
Feng Shui experts knew what to do. They simply built another building nearby, of course strictly according to the principles of Feng Shui. Since they have moved, their business has flourished again. Except for a bit of belief and superstitions, the compass plays the most important role in Feng Shui. Even rooms have to be in harmony with the cardinal points. This knowledge has been taught in China for thousands of years, and Master Kun Lung also passes his knowledge on. He even chose his name according to Feng Shui principles.
This is my name. My name is the Kun Lung. The Lung is the dragon, represent the mountain up and down similar like the dragon. The Kun is looking for. That's meaning I want to looking for the dragon mouth to find the good energy for me or for my client, to easier to get the money, get a good health and and love something else.
The bird marked in the Kowloon district takes place in an idyllic Chinese garden. Because of their small flats, people in Hong Kong keep, instead of cats and dogs, animals that need less space. You can hear that the animals enjoy their trip to the bird market. At the market, there are not only exotic birds of all colours and shapes, but also all kinds of equipment, including food for small animals. Right behind the bird market is the Flower Market Road, a small picturesque flower market. Many locals shop here to decorate their flats, as well as hotel employees who buy flower decorations for foyers here. If you want to get away from the noise in the streets and to get a good view, you can go by tram up the 554-metre high peak. Around 1870, it was an exclusive residence district for rich Europeans built on the highest mountain on the island of Hong Kong. For almost 20 years, bearers had to transport loads as well as rich neighbours in sedan chairs up the peak. Only in 1888, after the peak tram was built, were bearers freed from the burden. Today, the tower on the peak offers a grand view of Hong Kong's skyline, which changes into a sea of coloured glittering lights at night. Hong Kong Park looks like a green oasis in the middle of skyscrapers. Originally there were barracks here, but not long ago the area was rebuilt into an idyllic park. If you ever wanted to take part in a Tai Chi class, you have a chance to do so in Hong Kong Park in the morning. This elegant art of body control is presented here by true masters. The Chinese shadow boxing, Tai Chi, combines thinking and acting. Central for exercises are continuous movements based on elements of fighting animals. Avoiding disruptive movements should help you to connect control and balance. Everything is based on Taoistic belief in the balance of cosmic energy. In Hong Kong Park, there is an aviary especially for exotic birds from the Malaysian rainforest. You can easily forget the city around you watching such natural beauty. The richness of plant and animal species attracts entire school classes who come here and really enjoy classes outdoors. Hong Kong Park, with its fairy tale-like waterfall, also attracts photographers for shooting. Not only models, but also tourists and locals like to pose in front of such pretty scenery. Everyday life in Hong Kong is profoundly influenced by religion. There are more than 600 temples dedicated to the three main religions: Buddhism, Taoism and Confucianism. Wong Tai Sin Temple encompasses all three of them under one roof. Inhabitants of Hong Kong bring small offerings like oranges to the herdsman and fortune teller Wong Tai Sin. That's the way to ask him for healing, as well as for a good prophecy. When fortune telling, a vessel with bamboo sticks is shaken long enough until one of them drops out. What's important is the number on the stick. You can also find out about the future of your relatives or friends, but you mustn't mix up the numbers. If you ask all your questions and find out respective numbers, you need someone to interpret your fortune. In the Street of Fortune Tellers, you can get answers, for example, at Oren Mak, who learnt to interpret the future from his father, and besides that, he can also read palms.
You take a stick, are looking what is the number, and from 1 to 100. Any question about career, health, family, love, children, anything, can ask. And pick the number, looking what is inside. So I can tell you what is the answer from this year. Only 1 year can talk it.
You have to come back next year at the latest, or preferably sooner, because new questions and problems arise. If you are interested in dolphin watching, you can take part in an organised tour. You go by boat through the waters of Hong Kong. The marine parks Lung Kwu Chau and Sha Chau have been set up to protect endangered dolphins. The area covers about 12 kilometres squared, and there are some activities, like overfishing and some water sports, strictly prohibited. As you are happily cradled by water, you have a unique chance to observe the rare white dolphins from very close proximity. Because of their thin skin, they often glimmer pink. That's why they are also called pink dolphins. Another escape from the hectic bustle of Hong Kong is a trip to one of the surrounding islands. Easy to reach by ferry are Lantau, Lama and Chiang Chau Islands. Chiang Chau is a special attraction because here you can completely regenerate from the polluted air in Hong Kong. On this island, cars are strictly prohibited. You can walk or go by bike. The port with many fishing boats seems especially charming. They are still partly inhabited by whole families. Anchoring in the port, they put to sea only to fish. With a bit of luck, you can watch the boat landing and witness the unloading of its catch. You should then try the result of such a catch fresh at one of the restaurants in the port. In the southern part of Hong Kong Island, in the Repulse Bay, is probably the most colourfully decorated of Hong Kong's temples. Together, the gods Kwun Yum and Tin Hau, patrons of fishermen and sailors, guard the bay, which entices you to come and play some sports. Some of the most closely guarded secrets of Hong Kong are its many great sandy beaches, which are usually not far by bus or ferry from the centre. Nowhere else is it so safe to go and have a swim as here on the beach at Repulse Bay. Apart from the two divine patrons, people in the water are also watched by a whole team of rescue workers. Nevertheless, you should reconsider jumping into the cold and dirty water and rather bathe in the sun instead. In some restaurants you can try specialities of Cantonese cuisine. Dim suns are thin pieces of dough that have different fillings and which are formed into dumplings and eventually stewed. Dim sum. Touch the heart, translated literally. The most popular fillings are, for example, with a pork or salmon mixture. In former times, however, this appetizer wasn't served a la carte. Previously, waiters brought a serving cart with an oven to the table. On the cart there were different kinds of dim sums. Guests could lift the lids and choose their favourite dim sums. Today they are not served like that anymore because the fire hazard is too high. Dim sums were overcooked after some time in the oven anyway, and they weren't as fresh anymore. A secret tip for those who like adventure and seek a rather different kind of culinary experience brings you about 15 kilometres from the centre of Hong Kong to the market in the fishing village Sai Kung. A speciality of this fish market is that you can order your dinner right from the tank onto your plate. It isn't easy to order because of the wide choice of exotic fish and seafood like sea cucumbers, rare clams or sea urchins. Preparation of food in restaurants is as simple as possible. It doesn't matter whether you ordered fish or seafood. Almost everything is stewed or fried in huge pans. Spices are used only seldom. Side dishes are then usually noodles. Evidence of quality of food here is the fact that the Chinese themselves like to eat here. Of course you eat with chopsticks, and with food you usually drink tea or good Chinese beer. A popular pastime in Hong Kong is shopping. Shops and markets are open till late at night. Because of the huge choice, Hong Kong is a shopping paradise, but it isn't a paradise of low prices any longer. At markets like Temple Street Night Market, the main motto is to trade. Watches, sunglasses, toys, different junk or even high-tech electronics. If you bargain, you can make a good deal. Many fortune tellers settled in Temple Street. They can provide passers-by with a short insight into their future. When financial and business districts slowly close in the evening, other parts of the town are just waking up. Hong Kong is a city of long nights. Before you plunge into its nightlife, the best place to have a good meal is Soho, a quarter full of restaurants. There are countless restaurants and bistros here. In small crooked streets, cooks proudly show their art to attract more guests. Popular destinations for night owls are, for example, countless discos, where you can sing karaoke. Karaoke is entertainment number one in Hong Kong. Talent is of no importance. If you want to, you sing. To see and to be seen, that's important here. At a party, the Chinese are in no way behind Europeans. Discos are equipped with expensive effects. People dance not only to Chinese pop, but also to Western rhythms till late in the morning, until they are totally exhausted. From Soho, it's only a stone's throw to the pub quarter Lan Kwai Fong. In 1984, a special club moved here into a colonial building from the 19th century. The French Club is a facility for young artists in Hong Kong, as well as for night owls. Head of the French Club, Catherine Lau, is somewhat proud of her club.
It's an arts club and we're a charity. When people come to perform or exhibit, they do not have to pay rents because we are very fortunate to have the use of the space from the government. Yeah, so in turn, we facilitate the exhibitions and the performances. So only after they sell any works or after they sell any tickets, then we take off a small commission to cover our costs. But we have other facilities and we have sponsors to bring in income to support all the arts activities. And we are over 90% self-sufficient.
Apart from the pleasant terrace on the roof, the French restaurant and bar, the club offers mainly galleries, theatres and lecture halls. As a stage for young artists, the French club has already helped some of them to break through. For all other people, the club is simply a popular place to start an evening. Lan Kwai Fong is very busy. Part of the nightlife happens in the streets in front of the bars before people move later on to discos. Here you can see again that when it comes to entertainment, the Chinese can very well match the West. Hong Kong is the metropolis of the whole of Southeast Asia. It's about as big as New York and has at least as much to offer. This unique mixture of the old and the new, of Far Eastern and Western cultures is totally fascinating. You have to yield to the hectic atmosphere and open your senses not only to culinary specialities. For those who have experienced Hong Kong in its full splendor, it's hard not to fall in love with the city.